Hi, cottage friends. I just got home from my trip. Well, it's been 2 days now. The first day, I just spent the whole day just sleeping and trying to acclimate myself to this new time zone, which it's about 2 hours different. So I worked on that yesterday. Today, I got busy and started kind of doing some things that needed to be done around here. So that's basically what this video is all about. I didn't really have anything else for you, but I thought you might like to see my place and how I live, and how I've put my cottage together, like curated it. And I'll let you know a couple of things. Let's see, in my fall makeover video, you can find out about my sofa, and the story behind that is it's a Chippendale vintage settee, and it fits perfectly in my little apartment. My neighbors, we lived like this, like our doors were like this to each other, and they were over there and we were here, and they didn't have a lot of money, so I hired her husband. He helped me out installing my storm door, and when the wife became pregnant, they were just a very young couple. When the wife became pregnant, I thought about her because I was in the store. I was in Whole Foods shopping, and I was in the vitamin department, and I saw some prenatal vitamins with calcium in them. And when I was pregnant with my first child, I was very young. I was 17, and I didn't know about prenatal vitamins. I was just barely even old enough to know much of anything. But I didn't find out about prenatal vitamins until later on in my pregnancy, and then I did start taking them, and it really made a difference. And I don't know for sure if I started taking ones that had calcium in them or not, but I don't believe I did. So when my daughter was born, one of her left leg, was because I was really small. I was 102 pounds, and my uterus was so small that her leg was twisted and her foot was kind of bent in the middle and turned in. So when I was at the pediatrician's for one of her very early visits, I pointed it out to the doctor and I asked him about it, and he pointed me towards the Crippled Children's Services, and they were able to help me have a cast put on her to form her leg in the right, so it would be straight. And I always felt that it may have been partially because I didn't have enough calcium during my pregnancy. So I gave my neighbor this bottle of prenatal vitamins, and I never thought any more about it. But when they decided to move, she had that sofa, that little settee in her garage, and she asked me if I wanted to have it. And I was thrilled because it was beautiful. Now the legs, it's got the wooden legs on the bottom, and it was kind of broken, but her husband repaired it. He was very handy, and it was in a sort of an old sort of woven plaid fabric. It was horrible, like something from maybe the 80s. It had been reupholstered a couple of times. So I took it, had my upholsterer redo it for me, and they refinished the legs. They did the nail head trim. They did all the piping and everything, and I was just really happy with my little sailboat sofa. And during that time, there was a place called Home Fabrics where you could get fabrics for $2 a yard. So I was able to get that fabric for a pretty darn good price, because when you have even a small settee like that, will often need about 18 to 20 yards of fabric. So I was able to get that done, and I knew the upholsterer because I was working as a designer at the time, and he gave me a good deal. I paid $500 to have all that work done. and I was just so happy about it. And then the ottoman in my living room was a dumpster find, and it was actually in a dumpster. When I saw it sticking out, it had a skirt on it, and I took it to the upholsterer and asked them to put tufting in the top of it, and I refinished the legs in a cottage look with a kind of a white, antiqued white look, and changed the look of it. And ever since then, I use it as is with the gold chenille that I originally purchased for it, but I also have a couple of different slip covers that I use throughout the year. So the one you see on it here in this video is the IKEA slip cover that from the Ektorp group, and it comes in two pieces because it's an ottoman that has a lid on it, but it was the perfect size for my ottoman, so I cut the lining out of the top and sewed the two pieces together so that they would work on my ottoman. And they just I love that one. And what I love about having slip covers is that you can just take them off and wash them. You can make your room look like a completely different room, and it just kind of, you know, I like to change my room quite a bit. I kind of get tired of it being the same way all the time, so I do like to change the pillows out, the slip covers, and the rug that I have there is a kind of a antique, rubbed out rug that I just love the way it looks. And I never expected to get a red one. I was really looking for a green one or something with the blues, like turquoise blues in it. But when I saw this one, I knew that it was a good find, and I got it for $200. So I went ahead and purchased it when I found it, and it was the perfect size. I think it's like 8 by 10. So I wanted to have a really nice big rug for my living room to fill up the room, because when you have a larger rug, the larger rug in the room makes your room feel bigger. And being that I'm in a small place, it really came in handy. There's another piece in this room, in my living room, that you're going to notice, and it's that large buffet. And that was probably first made back in the 30s or 40s. Not sure exactly, but when I first moved to Sacramento, I was in a St. Vinny's DePaul, and I spotted that, and it was $200. And my boyfriend at the time was with me, and he had a truck, and I said, I'm getting this. And he goes, oh, you don't need that. What are you going to do with it? I didn't even have a place to live yet. I was just staying at a friend's house. And I said, I'll flip it and sell it. So I went ahead and got it, and he brought it home for me, and I was able to start painting it and everything. I never did finish painting it. I started painting it with this gray chalk paint from, I think it was a mixture of Annie Sloan and maybe something else, but it's not even finished on the bottom. There's still some places that haven't gotten painted. But I just love it. It works perfect for my TV, and I never did have the heart to get rid of it because I just love it too much, and it provides a lot of storage. So that's another thing. When you're in an apartment, I'm always looking for storage, ways to store things, and that one is providing me with plenty of storage. I keep all of my tablecloths in there. I keep a lot of candles and framed pictures, along with my DVDs. I did do a fall decorating video for you before I left, but there were things that I hadn't finished, like vacuuming. There were feathers all over the floor. And then when I got back from my trip, most of my plants were dried up and a lot of them died. Luckily, my sunflowers have 3 new blossoms on them, and my lantana, it was hanging in there and grew even more profuse. And then my geraniums were starting to wither, but there was still signs of life in those, so I was able to just remove some dead leaves and get them, encourage them to keep growing for me, and they usually do. Anyway, I thought that this video would just kind of give you a chance to see my place, my living room, and my lifestyle a little bit. I'm very modest and live simply, and I just keep busy doing all the things that I love to do. When I first decided to start making YouTube videos, it took me probably at least 2, maybe even 3 years before I actually got down to business and started making videos. The reason I decided to start making videos is to share what I do every day, because every day I'm doing something different and something that's creative, and I thought, you know, it would be a wonderful thing if I could just share this with others and kind of let them see my process. And there's a lot of different creative things I do. In the video, you're going to see this fabric. And I mentioned in a previous video, in my fall video, fall makeover, that I had a whole lot of these different velvet colored pillow covers that I got for like $2 a piece. So I've got this orange one, and I'm just trying to decide which color to put with this pillow, and I'll show you a picture of the pillow that I'm going to make. I've been seeing these pillows, they're round pillows, and I've been seeing them in Target, and I thought, wow, I can make that. So I got this fabric here, and I just love the colors in it. It's got all my colors, the blues, the reds, the oranges, the greens. Oh, it doesn't have yellow, does it? So I've got, maybe you can help me decide. This orange is a little bit darker than the one that I actually have in the living room, and this pillow's going in the living room, and I think I only have enough to make one. So there's a choice. This is just for the back. This is silky soft. It's not, I think it's probably a polyester. It's 100% polyester, which makes it really soft. It's also going to be very easy to clean. It's also going to be stain resistant. And these were from Target, but I got them at a place called Falling Prices, which is kind of an outlet for stores that are discontinuing items. So the next one is the navy blue. That might be a little bit dark. And then this one is more of a burgundy, which I thought maybe that would work. I don't know. Anyway, tell me what you think. I'm going to be making this pillow. And then the other fabric you saw on the back of my wing back, I will be posting a video about that, and that's going to be a slip cover for that chair, and I'm going to do a separate video for that one so you can see how I did it. I just wanted to show you these little prints, and I got these at a thrift store. They're so darling. They're called GRANNY CHIC Chat, and they retailed for $65, but I got them for $3.49. So here's one, and these are embroidered, or are they embroidered? Are they needlepoint? I don't know. What do you call that? So anyway, I'm thinking of doing the frames, painting the frames out. So if you have any ideas, tell me what color would you paint those frames? Aren't they just adorable? And those are going to go in my office upstairs that I'm refinishing, and I still have more videos to post on the office, so keep a lookout for those and let me know what you think. Okay, so the book is Granny Chic, and it's by Tiff Fussell and Rochelle Blondell. Granny Chic, crafty recipes and inspiration for the handmade home. And when I was in Hawaii, I had bought this book before, a few years ago when I was there, and I didn't remember that this pillow was in there, but this is the one I'm going to make with that fabric, with this fabric right here. Now, they did it with scrap piecing, which is another way to do it. Like, if you watch my fabric pumpkin tutorial, then you can see almost exactly how this was done. It's the same concept where you sew your strips, make a tube, and then on this one you gather the center here and then sew the back to the outside, and then you add your button. So I'm going to do that, but I didn't have time today and I wanted to get this video out, so you'll see that in a future video. But I just wanted to read what they say here. For the perfectly round cushion. Dearest readers, in my opinion, there is nothing nicer than a perfectly round cushion. They are suited to all sorts of locations around your abode, but are especially at home on top of a freshly painted stool. Now, this recipe is one that originally began as a much smaller lavender pillow, designed for my first sewing exam at the young age of 12. So with a bit of tweaking and twiddling, this larger version works a treat. In fact, I guarantee once you have made one, you will be quite smitten with everything that is round and cushiony. And she signed it, Rochelle, Kiss. So what you need is a large piece of paper to make your template. She recommends a round cushion. Now I'm going to use stuffing. And then scraps of fabric of your choosing and a square of base fabric. So the base fabric for me is going to be one of these, and I'm leaning towards the orangey color. So, and then 2 spiffy buttons big enough to cover the entire gathering of your cushion, and your handy dandy sewing kit. So you can do this by hand or by machine. I'm going to do partially by machine and partially by hand. So I will do a demo on this on one of my future videos, and you'll see me making this pillow. Thank you for hanging in there with me, and it's going to be fun making that pillow.